We have some big details about Avengers Doomsday, including details about the teaser trailer that is coming, which is said to really not be a teaser. It's said to be more than a teaser trailer, which is great news. At the same time, a part of the supposed teaser trailer footage that is coming links to Doctor Doom's armor, in which we have new information about today as well. So a lot to dive into. Let's just get into it. Now, I will start off by saying this is coming from Film Threat. They are the people who originally reported that Marvel was doing the infamous chair stream. So the Marvel chair video, they were the first people to report that that was happening. Of course, it ended up being correct. We got that, and it was huge. So they clearly have some type of a source that is linked to trailer releases or video releases from Marvel Studios, or just a good source in general. So this is coming from them. So the first details on the Avengers Doomsday teaser, the first thing they say is it's said to be more than just a teaser. They say that it shows lots of footage of Doctor Doom in action. And I gotta say, this is very, very necessary. It's necessary for the casual audience who probably don't keep up with all of this like we do if you're watching this video. And they need to know Robert Downey Jr. is Doctor Doom. If they haven't heard it for whatever reason, they need to know. So they really have to establish this. But they also have to establish Doom's power. They have to show that he's stronger than Thanos, because the biggest event that we've had in Marvel history so far is Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. But we did have build-up to Thanos. We don't have any build-up to Doom. We have build-up in Marvel history in general. Like, these events are going to culminate everything that's happened in Marvel history. So the X-Men, Spider-Man, all those different Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire's, Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland's, etc. The Avengers, the new Avengers, like, that's all being built up to this big event. But Doom himself has not been built up. People need to know how powerful Doctor Doom actually is. So showing a lot of footage of him is a really good thing. Showing footage of him in action, as it says, in action, is even better. Show us how strong he is. This part is very interesting. They say the trailer is going to reveal that Doctor Doom needs his armor because his body is completely broken. Now, this actually ties into a recent report that we heard about his armor that we're going to get into, but I also will say this combined with the next line, which says Doctor Doom is described as a classic universal monster and compared to Eric from the Phantom of the Opera. So Eric is the Phantom in the Phantom of the Opera. So that's very interesting. I will say this does add to the theory of some people thinking that perhaps Doctor Doom is going to possess or dreamwalk in the dead body of Tony Stark because he needs the armor because his body is completely broken. Well, obviously Iron Man's body was completely broken after he snapped. I will say this isn't my favorite theory. It's not my favorite just speculation, because I don't leave Tony Stark's body to rest. Like, we don't need to bring that up. Just make him a variant of Tony Stark where it could have been that Tony Stark was adopted. It should have been Doom. We've heard that that might actually be retconned by Kang. Kang actually did that. So we just have a variant of Doctor Doom, and perhaps he snapped, or perhaps he did something very similar to that, Iron Man, and now his body is completely broken. So his suit holds him together, and that would kind of guarantee he has some scars, unless in the post-credit scene of the Fantastic Four, Franklin Richards was healing him, which could be the case, but probably just his face, because here's actually what we've been hearing about Doom's armor. So we recently got an HD look at his armor, and gotta say, looks pretty fantastic. Wonder if Doom would like me saying it looks fantastic, given his rivalry with Reed and the Fantastic Four. But we take a closer look here. One, not only does this just simply look awesome, but two, you can really see Thor's hammer and Captain Marvel's symbol as well, the star. Now, according to a new report, what we're also seeing on his arms, just all throughout his arms, are the 10 rings and Kamala Khan's bangles. So this is the recent report that states the rings provide Doom with unlimited energy. while the bangles serve to channel and stabilize that energy within his suit. With them, he can absorb powers from Nexus beings to shape the multiverse in his own way. Now, obviously, that last part there, shaping the multiverse in his own way, I automatically think of Battleworld. That's clearly what happens in the comics, and I think there's a 99% chance of happening in Avengers Secret Wars. In both comic iterations of Secret Wars, we have Battleworld. So Battleworld's coming. Doom is most likely the person to form it and rule over it as God Emperor Doom. Now, we've heard some recent plot leaks where they say Doom will absorb the powers of some very powerful characters. It makes sense that his suit and this technology that has actually been established in the MCU already, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, of course, and Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan's bangle, as well as the Marvels, that is actually good buildup. And you could say that actually, instead of it being Kang technology, you could still link Kang to it if they wanted to, but they could say Kang stole it from Doom, but it's Doom tech. I'm pretty sure they're going to go with that, unless they're going to say Doom took it from Kang, which I don't think is going to be the case, because they want to move away from Kang. Even though I think they'll mention Kang, I'm pretty sure they just want to move away from Kang. But him using artifacts that have already been established in the MCU, I think, is great, because it adds to Doom's personal buildup, which I think we really need. And it's really great that they say in the trailer, they're just going to show a lot of him. But so, this makes sense. Him being able to absorb powers from Nexus beings using certain devices and using sorcery, of course, as well, because he is just one of the best sorcerers out there. It makes sense. So he could steal Franklin's energy. He could steal the Scarlet Witch's energy. Sentry. That would make him pretty much unstoppable. Really. And I know we got a tease for the Beyonder recently, and he could very well use it to steal the Beyonder's energy as well, and steal his powers. And that's basically what happens in both iterations of Secret Wars. Doom ultimately gets the power of the Beyonder or the Beyonders and becomes God Emperor Doom. Now, there is a theory that Dr. Doom may need one of these artifacts, or both of them, to keep himself alive. I believe this was an old report. I couldn't really find it, so I'm just going to call it a theory for now. But the artifacts would function, this is a recent theory, basically the same way that Tony Stark's arc reactor functioned to save him at first. So I like the parallels there. I like that Tony Stark, who at this point in time, I really do believe he's just Doom and Tony are going to be variants, whether Tony was adopted or whatever you want it to be, or they're just different names, but they look exactly the same, because we've already seen that with Chris Evans, the Human Torch, and Captain America. Whatever you want to be, whatever it may be. I do like the parallels. Tony Stark needed the arc reactor. Doom needs these artifacts. He needs these artifacts to keep him alive. And that would go along with the whole, he's disfigured. And that's a big part of just a big hit to his ego. Doom hates his scars. That's why he wears the mask. Franklin could be healing his face, because I've said this before, but you're not paying Robert Downey Jr. over $100 million to not show your face, right? And he could be scarred. I hope he's scarred. I hope they don't take that away. That's a pretty big part of Doom. And at the end of the 2015 Secret Wars, he actually gets his face restored after he loses to Reed Richards. But I like all of this. I like him using the artifacts. I like those artifacts being connected to the multiverse saga. I like it being connected a little bit to Kang as well, even though they never really came out and said, hey, the bangle is Kang tech, the 10 rings are Kang tech, but we pretty much knew that they were going to link it. And the rings look exactly like Kang tech, like we saw in Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania with his city and everything. They were going to be Kang tech. So now it's Doom. He has these artifacts, and they're going to show him use them, it sounds like, in the very first teaser trailer. And they did say, so same source, they did say that, yeah, it's going to be attached to Avatar Fire and Ash, which is coming out in less than 2 months. It's coming out in the middle of December. So we're not far away from the very first teaser trailer, which again is going to be more than a teaser trailer, for Avengers Doomsday. Sounds like we're in for a big treat with it. Sounds like we're getting a lot more Doom than we thought. And it sounds like his armor is going to be very, very important. So go ahead, let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest Marvel news. And you can also find us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Snapchat. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.